The Peskin Report is sponsored by High and Happy Catering out of Springfield, Massachusetts. Their chef, Michael Best, can cook anything you want with or without being infused with cannabis. Check out some of what they make on their Instagram at High and Happy Catering or call them at 413-785-8999. You'll be happy you did.
Welcome to the Pesky Report, a podcast for Red Sox fans.
All right, folks, welcome back. We've got another pesky report for you here. I know there's been quite a few of those in recent days, but this is one that I'm really excited about. I'm Ed Hand, and I'm here with Brad Chandler, and we're both here with AAA Woo Sox reliever Zack Kelly, fresh off a lockdown eighth-inning performance today, part of a 3-2 win to preserve for Bray and Bello. How are you doing, Zach?
Good. How are we doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're super excited about having you here. We've had a couple of guys, mostly, I think all three of them are in Portland right now. So this is the our first AAA player that we've had.
It is actually.
Yeah, I mean, Sogart's been up and down a little bit, Nick Sogard, but you've spent the whole season at AAA. And I gotta ask you. We just recorded another episode a little bit before us, and somebody that we've talked about a lot is John Schreiber, who was your teammate last year. Started this season as your teammate, and then got called up, and has been. You can very well make the case he's been the most reliable pitcher on the Red Sox. Are you surprised?
No, not at all. I mean, like, he's definitely not like the biggest name guy, clearly, because I mean, obviously he started out here. I know he made it. I think like the last round of cuts in camp, but then he came here. I know he went up to like the first Toronto series, but I mean. Yeah, I mean, you can tell the stuff is there. He's throwing from a different arm slot than guys are used to seeing, and I mean, he's throwing 94, 95 from down there, and you don't see that a lot. And he comes with that, and with the slider, that's just takes off the other way. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all, and it's about time that he got kind of like an extended opportunity up there.
So I'm gonna, hi, I'm Brad. Nice to meet you.
What's up?
So earlier today, I'm like scrolling through. Ed's like, "Hey, we've got Zach coming on tonight at 8:00." I'm like, "Okay, cool, great." And then Katie Morrison, who writes for Mass Live, she covers you guys. In Worcester, literally like 5 seconds after like Ed says something to me, I see this post from Katie about you, and I'm like, what a coincidence. She's sitting here trying to make a case for you to be the next man on the 40-man roster. Did you read that?
Yeah, because the funny backstory with that. I think I talked to her for that story, I think last Saturday, and then the next day I gave up 3 runs. So on Tuesday I came in and she was sitting there and I was like, "Katie, we got to talk." And she's like, "I'm so sorry. I jinxed you." And I was like, "God, don't worry about it." I was like, I guess we just gotta start trying to do another one. But no, yeah, I did see that. She does a really good job with her job. Everybody here does a really good job with it. Just covering the team, putting out content. They do a really good job. But yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. It came out at 6:00 this morning, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, that's great. Gives me something to read up on the guy that we're having on the show."
Coincidence.
And I mean, if I've been following your career a little bit since you signed with the Red Sox back in 2020, but I read something very interesting today, and I was wondering if you could maybe explain what exactly happened here. So you initially, when you your first draft, you were not first draft. You were not taken in the draft initially, and you ended up signing for a $500 bonus with the Oakland A's.
Correct.
What was because I know you pitched for Newberry College, which is a Division II school. What was the process like for that? What was draft day like for you?
Well, uneventful, I guess. But no, yeah, it was. I mean, I started throwing a little bit harder my senior year, and so we had like a scout day in the fall, and I filled out all the guys, like all the teams that were there. I think it was like 5 or 6, but so all the teams that were there gave me this little questionnaire thing to fill out. And it was funny because the A's, they were there, but the guy didn't give me a questionnaire. So I was like, well, I mean, everybody but the A's that's here, I guess, likes me. I don't know. And then like the last start of the regular season, my senior year, it was me versus, God, what's the guy's name? Thomas St. Clair or something like that. And he ended up being like a pitcher of the year in our conference and 20-some rounder to the Cardinals. I don't know. But so he came, there was a bunch of scouts there to see mainly him. But I ended up throwing a complete game, shutout. So kind of made some eyes look at then. But yeah, draft day, obviously I knew I wasn't going to be a first rounder.
On the back.
Yeah, so I didn't really pay attention too much to the first night of the draft. And I think there was one team that takes college seniors in rounds 8, 9, and 10 for cheap, so they can pay the first 7 rounders. And had one team so they might take me then, so I tuned in a little bit, like the later half of day 2, and then day 3. The Oakland guy texted me that morning before the draft started and said, would you sign for $1,000? That's what all of our seniors are going to get today. I was like, yeah, sure. And it just kept, like, as the rounds kept going and going, I'm seeing what they're drafting and what the positions, and like if they're drafting high school guys, college guys, and he just kept texting me back and forth like, I'm pushing for you. And then around like the 30th,
$1,000?
Yeah, college seniors. I mean, they draft all the seniors for cheap, and then they pay the guys that actually have leverage. But yeah,
fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, and then he like texted me late in the draft as it was kind of winding down. I was like, hey, sorry, this isn't going to happen. I pushed for you. And so I immediately turned it off. My girlfriend, now wife, was at my house with my parents. I just kind of left them all in the living room, went up to my room, just sat there, like, because I mean, once I got that text, I was like, all right, well, I'll never pitch again. Like, my baseball career is over. I didn't really have a plan B. And then, like, all of a sudden, randomly, like 30 minutes later, he just calls me and said, hey, I got you a deal if you want to come on as an undrafted free agent. We'll give you $500 if you can leave in 3 days. I was like, yes, absolutely. I'll be right there. When do you need me to leave?
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's how it went. It was, like I said, it was uneventful for a while. Yeah, I know. I was like, $500. Oh my God, I'm rich.
What no plan B. What were you, if you were a senior, what were you studying? What were you studying in school besides baseball?
I was a sports management major. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do with it, and I still had like 2 or 3 more, because when I transferred, a lot of my credits didn't come over with me. So I still had to go back in the fall semester that year after my AZL season, take a couple classes, do an internship, all that good stuff. And so I had a little bit of time to kind of figure out what I wanted to do, but I really had no idea, to be honest with you.
Well, fortunately, you didn't have to. You didn't have to
Yeah.
figure that out. Although it's again, just going through your career path. You spent the first year in the AZL League, and how did that go? What signing on for $500, and you're there with all of these other prospects. Some of these guys, I'm sure, a bit more higher on the food chain. What was that first year experience like?
It was good. I mean, they did a pretty good job of just handling the transition with guys, and and just not really caring too much about like the performance side of things, but just teaching guys how to be in like a daily routine to play every day. Because when you're in college, you don't have to play every day, and so just making sure guys can learn how to do that and how to be ready to go every day, and how to kind of space out their workouts throughout the week. But it was good. I mean, I threw the ball kind of well, but I definitely felt a little bit of I kind of had to take a step back, because playing Division II, I was a pretty good player. I was our Friday night guy, and then all of a sudden I go to Arizona and I'm playing with all these ACC, SEC guys, and we're watching guys during the season that we have already drafted, and they're in Omaha, and so it's you just kind of got to fake it till you make it, and tell yourself you belong there too. But I mean, it was good. It was all right.
I got a question for you. You're from Virginia, correct?
Correct.
So what was the difference from going from Virginia to the Arizona League?
It was tough.
Was that your first time away from the family?
No, because I went to college. I left to go to college in South Carolina, and then I the summer before that I went to North Carolina to play summer ball, and so I had been away from home for extended periods of time before, but never that drastic. It was 3-hour time difference, and so we're playing at 7:00 in Arizona time, and so my parents would, and they don't have a game feed or anything, so my dad, mom they would always just be sitting there 11:00 at night, just sitting on the MILB app, just watching it. And you can imagine how slowly rookie ball AZL games are updated on the MILB. I'll tell you right
now, I watch that every once in a while, the box score. It is terrible right now, so I can only imagine what it was a few years ago.
Yeah, and I would come in after my game, after my outing, and text my parents, text my wife, and they would be like, "What are you talking about? It doesn't even have you they hadn't even updated that I was even pitching at that point." So they're just well, I guess we just don't need to look and see what happened, but
stay on another 3 hours.
Yeah, and the first week I was out there, I don't know if it's still the record, but at the time it was the record. It was late in June, the last week in June, and it got up to I think 126 degrees.
Oh my god! Oh, was that summer that it was it was unsafe for planes to fly or something like that?
Yes. And it was we had to, there were certain times where we would try to send guys up to short season ball, but they couldn't because they couldn't fly the plane. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's what do you think? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just you open the hotel room door and it's just this hits you, and you're just what am I doing here? Why am I here?
What part of Arizona were you in?
Mesa. It's right there with Tempe, Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Yeah, I went to Arizona State for a year. Got pretty familiar with the area there. So yeah, no, Mesa's nice, but yeah, it's that feeling when you walk out of the door, you're in this great air conditioned room. And I remember the thing for me was that you didn't realize how much you had dehydrated, and you came back into the room after being outside for 10 minutes. It's just oh, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, and I hate because everybody always says, "Oh, it's a dry heat." I don't care. Like 120 is 120. It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, no, it's
terrible either
rough.
way.
It's rough. So were you guys playing in like an outdoor stadium then? Or was it
Oh yeah.
indoor and like air? Oh man.
Oh no. Yeah. I think someone play like. I think Arizona might play at Chase when the big league team is like on the road. But no, we were out there practicing. We had like I guess practice you could say, at like 3:00 every day, and then we're playing at 7. But even at 7:00, it's still 110.
Oh
That's
wow,
crazy.
that's rough. But that first year though, so it was kind of like a crash course into being a pro baseball player. But you didn't end up back with the A's the next year. You were with the Angels for the next few years. So what happened after that season?
Yeah, I went to camp with the A's again, and I didn't know how to like prepare for a spring training, prepare for a season. So like, I mean, I got there in March, whatever. I wasn't ready, because I didn't know what it took to get through like a full professional season. I didn't know how to prepare. I didn't train as much as I should have, and like the second outing, my shoulder flared up. So then from there, just going through rehab and just whenever they wanted me back, I just wasn't quite ready. I was a little behind their time frame that they had for me, or time schedule, I guess. And so, when they thought I was ready, I was throwing bullpens at like 89, 90. And so when you're 23 and you're a righty throwing 90, it doesn't usually add up for success. And so they let me go.
Yeah, but I read a week later. A week later.
Yeah, like week later, you end up with the Angels.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere. My agent at the time he lived in Cincinnati, and I already been ready for a season. So I told my wife I'm gonna go try and play any ball, and just so I don't feel like I just wasted an off season. And so I was going up to a tryout up in Kentucky or Ohio, one of the two, I can't remember. And I kid you not, I passed the field and I told him, like, on the phone, my agent, telling him that, hey, I'll be in Cincinnati in 15 minutes. While I'm on the phone with them, the Angels called and offered me a contract, and so I essentially just drove all the way up there for no reason. But yeah, it was weird though, because I never talked to the Angels. I threw against them like one time in the AZL, didn't really throw well, and so I don't know like where that whole thing came from.
They needed pitching.
Yeah, apparently.
Still do.
Yeah, and so I just drove 8 hours back home the next day, and then flew to Arizona, started all back over again.
Wait, so you went from Arizona to where'd you go? Cincinnati?
Yeah, in like a 4 or 5 day span, I went from Arizona to South Carolina to Ohio to South Carolina, and then back to Arizona.
God, you're picking up those frequent flyer miles.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of them. They expired by this point, probably.
But what's that drive back? That 8-hour drive back? I mean, is it just relief, or like, especially if it came out of nowhere? Like, what's that? Like, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like, I mean, almost like I felt like I had like a second chance, just because I knew I didn't prepare myself enough to be ready for that spring training in 2018. And so it's like, okay, like, you got bailed out. Now it's time to kind of flip the switch and get back on it. So it's that, and just trying to figure out plans to repack all my stuff, where I'm going to live, just doing like some research about the Angels and like the guys that they have, and just trying to learn as much about the organization as I can until I get out there.
Yeah, was Shohei Ohtani in the organization at that point?
I think so. I think that might have been like his first year. No, maybe his second year. it was definitely like his first or second. I can't remember though. I have no clue.
Where did they assign you to initially?
They kept me in extended for probably like 4 weeks maybe, just to make sure my rehab was completed and everything was ready to go. And then once I went to low A from there, and that just started. 2018 was like the craziest year of my life, just traveling. I mean, I was never in one place for what felt like a week at a time.
So I'll tell you your transactions here.
God, I don't know if we have that much time.
And June 5th, 2018, you were assigned to the Burlington Bees. Then a couple days later, you were placed on the 7-day. At that time, it was still the DL. On June 10th, you were assigned to the Angels Extended Spring Training from Burlington Bees. On June 14th, you were assigned to Orem Owls from the Extended Spring Training. On June 23rd, you were assigned to Inland Empire 66ers. Then you were, on July 12th, you were assigned to the Burlington Bees. And then that's all in 2018. I mean, we can go to 2019 if you want.
So,
There's a ton of transactions.
Yeah, they're all. I think I probably got put on the IL 15 times in 2019, and they were all Phantom.
Oh wow!
So that's a real. So that is a real
the
thing.
whole year. It was then. I think they kind of took that away now.
Do they just tell you like? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they would. I would just, and it was almost like every time I pitched, like the next day, I would just at a certain point, it got to where I would just go to my manager's office, like, "Hey, am I on the roster this week or not?" But he was like, "Yes, dude. You know, we need a spot. Sorry." Because we would. I mean, that's what we would do. We would take like the immediate impact guys out of camp with the Angels, so that didn't make the team, put them in AAA, and it's like almost like everybody else came to AA, and so we had like 20 pitchers on the staff, and so we would just piggyback everybody and Phantom IL 4 or 5 guys. That way, just to like meet the roster limit, but everybody was always like perfectly healthy. It was terrible.
Yeah, that sounds like you don't really know what you're going to be doing the next week, and that's gotta be. How is your arm though? Because if you went into the season healthy, were you able to build your velocity back up?
Yeah, I mean, I think by like the end of the year, I started to pick it up a little bit. I mean, you pretty much just go like I would go through everything the exact same. I would I would have a start, and then get put on the Phantom. And then I would still throw my day 2 side, and that I guess what would be start day, I would just throw another side, just a little bit heavier, and kind of just prepare a little bit more like it's an actual game as far as like my routine, what I do beforehand. But yeah, I mean it was hard because it's just like the most frustrating thing is it was frustrating both ways because like you have a bad outing and it's like you don't get to come back and try to get that out of your head in 5 days. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till the 9th or 10th day, and also vice versa, where you have a really good outing, and all you want to do is just get right back on and try to continue to build on that, build some momentum for the rest of the season, and you can't do that either. And so, yeah, it was frustrating, but like honestly, it was more like just mentally challenging than it was physically.
Yeah, no, that seems like it would be very hard to get into a good groove that way, and that's so important. So skipping ahead a little bit, in 2020, you switched organizations again. You went over to the Red Sox. It sounded like you were having some elbow issues prior to that, and you ended up being able to avoid Tommy John surgery. But then when the season got canceled, you went and got like some kind of an elbow operation. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I got lucky with the season being canceled. I stuck that one through there, but yeah, this is like the off season, and I was like started like I didn't like I don't really remember exactly like what happened. Like I think I was doing like some plyo stuff the day before, and it was like the first. I always try to take a break from all like throwing weighted balls, plyos for like a good amount of time after the season, just to let my body reset and let my arm reset, and so. It was like the first day back of doing like some plyo throws and like some weighted balls. But the next day, I woke up and like my elbows hurt really bad. But I just chalked it up like, okay, yeah, first day back in a couple months, whatever. But I kept feeling it wouldn't go away. But when I would throw my bullpens and stuff, like my velocity was fine, my control was fine, and so I didn't really think anything like UCL damage or anything like that. So yeah, I went to camp and first bullpen was fine. Same thing, still felt it, but everything was the same. And then I threw a lab BP 2 days after that, same thing. But then like 2 or 3 days after that was when it kind of shut down for me. Just playing catch, like 70, 75, 80 feet. I couldn't get the ball there. I was trying, like crow hopping, couldn't get the ball there. And so I knew something was wrong. And then like long story short, that my UCL was torn, and 5 days later, we all got sent home for COVID. And so I was trying to rehab it. I'm a pretty stubborn guy, so they asked me which option I wanted to choose, and obviously I said I wanted to try to rehab it. Then the longer I rehabbed, the less it got better, and I knew that someone was going to have to be done with it, so. I elected to get surgery, and then found out after that it wasn't as big of a tear as I thought it was. And so I was able to get the repair where they pretty much just reattach it instead of replacing it. And, same rehab and stuff, same protocols, but it just takes I
just got the shivers hearing that.
Yeah. I mean, you want me to tell you full detail what they do or no?
You can go into detail. I mean,
no, it's not too bad. They just drill a hole in your bone and just kind of thread the ligament back through there, and then I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it pretty much just like cuts the recovery time off in half. So like if I got like full blown TJ, I probably wouldn't have been throwing for like 4 or 5 months, but with this, I was able to start throwing again in 2.5 months, and so kind of sped everything up a little bit.
Yeah, and then the 2021 season comes around, and I mean, sorry.
I got a quick question. Did you end up getting released from the Angels organization after they found out about this, or?
No, I called him and told him that because they told me at any point, if you decide that you want surgery, call us and let us know. We'll take care of it. So I said, okay. And it just wasn't getting better. And my wife is always proud because she says she's the reason I got it, because I kept just complaining to her every single day about how bad it hurt. And so she finally convinced me to call them, and I was texting her on the way home from the gym or something. She was like, so as soon as you get home, you're going to sit on the couch and you're going to call him. I was like, okay, whatever. Like she likes to take credit for that one. But yeah, I called him, told him I wanted surgery. And then it was either the next day or the day after that, they called me and released me. So that was interesting.
That's lousy of them. I'm sorry. That's like, here's your surgery now. You're on your own.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. It's all right though. It worked out.
Yeah. So how soon after did you hear from the Red Sox?
Not until free agency opened that year, which was like I think a week after the World Series. So middle of October-ish.
Yeah, I mean, was it did you have a lot of interest, or was it a pretty quick negotiation there?
I mean, there was like initially some teams that were interested. I would definitely say that the Red Sox seemed to be like the most engaged with it. But I mean, even like when it was October, teams knew that I wasn't anywhere close to being able to throw off a mound. So it was like kind of like a weird, I don't know, I guess trying to find some common ground there where it's like, I want to be able to throw for these teams as quickly as I can, but I also do want to do it safely, but I also don't want to wait too long to where they already kind of go fill in their rosters with guys. And so I was just trying to make sure I did everything like as quickly but as safely as I could with the rehab and stuff. And so I guess they reached out to me in October, and then I threw a bullpen for them in December. So I mean, it was still a couple months after like they reached out that they actually got to see me throw.
And then you signed in January.
Yeah.
What did they tell you as far as what your role was going to be when they offered you the contract? Did you know you were going to be bullpen, starting pitcher? What's that conversation like?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty sure I was supposed to start. I was supposed to start. They didn't really tell me like where I was going to go out of spring training. I kind of figured I was probably going to go back to Portland, just because of the injury, and just want to like repeat the level, make sure everything checks out. And it's me and Thad Ward were piggybacks to start the season. I think we both got hurt within like the first 2 weeks of the season. So just like tough timing. It's just like tough that me and him were like we had our own day together, and so it was just coincidence that we both like went down early in the year.
Yeah, like what's happening on that day?
Yeah, but I had a shoulder issue to start the like. I don't even know if I actually went on the IL for it. I don't even know if it's on like the transaction sheet, but it's like this. I think I missed like the second week of the season last year, and then like the fourth week of the season last year, and then after that they just sent me to the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean that move seems like it's worked out pretty well for you, though. I mean your numbers at AA last year were electric. Is really the only way to describe it. I mean, you got brought up after like a few months there. They brought you up to AAA, and I mean you were dominant in AAA as well. Was that a hard transition to make from the rotation to the bullpen?
Yeah, just like I was really against it. Like I didn't want to because. Like in my head, I was like, I'm not like, I'm getting pretty sore after I throw, and so like, if I'm a bullpen guy, I got to be ready to go the next day. But I was able to like kind of figure out a routine, just learn how to, I guess, prepare a little bit more, how to work out as a reliever. It's how to like change my throwing program to be ready to go every day, and kind of just learning everything there is to know about how to be a reliever and how to recover. That's the biggest thing. You just got to be able to recover so you can be ready to go every other day or every other day. But I mean, after that, it was a good transition, and I'm really glad I'm a reliever now. Now it's like the opposite. I can't imagine being a starter.
Did you feel like you were pitching better than you were before? Were you like, oh man, I'm throwing a lot harder now, or anything like that? Did it feel different for you?
No, not really. It was just not like you realize like you don't have to sit here and like try to turn over a lineup and like remember what like I always try to remember like this kind of some like the sequences when I was a starter, and if I got a guy on this sequence in the first inning, by the time the third or fourth inning comes around, try to change it. And it's like you don't have to do that as a reliever, and so you feel like you can just kind of go at him with your best stuff, and because you might not even face that guy the next time in the series, or shoot, even the rest of the year. And so you can kind of pitch to your strengths a lot more rather than paying too much attention to the hitters. But so yeah, I mean, a lot of the going back to a reliever was just like mentality, because you got to have a lot shorter memory as a reliever. You gotta be able to flip the switch when they call down for you, because they're not always locked in down in the bullpen, to be honest. But as soon as the phone rings and it's your name, you got to get up and go. You gotta get going quickly.
Question for you: who's the one guy that you think you have their number?
Oh man,
I want names, because when you make it to the big leagues and they make it to the big leagues, I'm gonna start an argument. I'm gonna be like, well, this dude said you were He made you
I
his
don't know.
bitch.
I don't know. I can't really think. I can't really think. I mean, whenever
Oh, come on, just say a name.
I don't know. I don't even. Sometimes I don't even know a lot of guys. I mean,
Is it somebody
I
on your
guess, like,
team?
no, I don't. I don't even know if I've faced like guys on the team. I know I faced Miasis last year in camp. I struck him out. I mean, I guess if you want like a big name, I guess. I mean, I got Eloy to hit into a double play today. It's like, I mean, so I guess he's never gotten a
All
hit
right.
off of me.
Eloy's your bitch.
I mean, technically he has never gotten a hit off of me.
We're gonna
0
post
for 1,
it.
but
0 for 1 on a rehab assignment, but still, I mean, that's
I can tell you guys that have hit homers off of me. I can tell you that. For whatever reason, I know that more than the strikeouts.
I would have asked that, but I felt like it was more appropriate to ask who is your bitch.
No, yeah, Luke Voigt, he got me good last year.
Oof.
that's a guy who gets a lot of people good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I threw a 0-2 heater to him, and it didn't go. I didn't throw it where I wanted to, and he got it.
Yeah,
He
you
got it
throw a
pretty
mistake
good.
to him, he's hit
Oh,
that
yeah.
far. I'm
Oh,
real
yeah.
happy that he's not with the Yankees anymore.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, they probably don't even need him now.
They don't need Aaron Judge anymore either.
They're hitting enough homers this year. I think they're good.
Do you guys like when somebody gets called up to the majors and like are you following them and like texting them and stuff like that, or is it kind of like you don't really hear from them until they return to AAA?
Oh yeah, we do. I was texting Wink and Schreiber last night, just because like they'll repost stuff and then I'll like reply to it. And no, it's good though. I mean, we have like a whole group chat of stuff with all the guys on the team. And so last Monday we had an off day, but we all saw that Jeter got called up on Twitter or whatever it was. And
That was
so
cool.
so we texted Jeets. All the boys did texted Jeets in the group chat, and he was pumped up. But yeah, we do. I mean, guys are close here. We're all friends, and so anytime someone like one of the boys does something good for the big guys, it's always cool to see.
So did you guys learn a lesson when Jeter got called up? Don't put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Oh yeah, we let him hear about that one.
We
I can't blame him though. It's an off day.
Yeah, true. So we actually have someone in our chat who has a question for you. Quinn Riley asks, ask him what the team group chat is like.
It's good. It's actually funny because Derek Holland is the one that made it. And so he left.
Is he still in the chat?
Oh yeah, absolutely he is. Yeah, so he's still in there. And it was funny when we were in Buffalo. He got ejected in Buffalo, and so he all texted him after the game in the group chat. It was funny, but it's good. I mean, it's a lot of just like memes and just people asking people if they want to go to dinner after a game. It's really vanilla, to be honest.
Ball players, they're just like us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude. It's not good. Doesn't get used very much.
That sounds like a really nice thing that you have that camaraderie though. And I mean, this bullpen corps that you're a part of is like, I mean, there's some real talent in there. I mean, besides you, and Caleb Ward has been, especially this month in June, he's been absolutely lights out. Frank Herman's looked really good. AJ Politi has looked pretty solid also. I mean, you guys pretty solid group of arms there, and I'm sure I missed a couple people too.
Yeah, I mean, top to bottom, like this is probably like the best, like starters included. Like this is probably the best pitching staff I've ever been a part of. Like, and it's really not even close. I mean, it's getting hard for our relievers to get innings right now because our starters they're going 6 every night, and so fortunately we're having a couple bullpen days to get some guys innings. But like, I mean, if we didn't have those, like it'd be hard pressed to get innings for guys. But I think it just speaks to like the talent of like some of the guys we have here. Yeah, I mean, bullpen's a fun group. We're all really close, and like we all just sit there and we chirp each other and we rag on each other, give each other a hard time. Like, we're always pumped to see him go in the game. We always know they're going to do well. So it's a fun group, fun team all around.
So, admittedly, I do not watch enough of the Woo Sox. I don't watch enough of the minor leagues and whatnot. Now, we know that Franchi has come up in the major leagues. He's come up to the Boston team, and he's come out with the the wave, and then this year it was the stick break and whatnot. Do you guys have anything like that?
No, we don't. We're boring. we know, but like it's kind of hard at our field just because where the bullpen's located. Like if the bullpen's in the outfield, one of our guys hits a home run, and we always try to like get the hitter's reaction, but we don't really get anything, and so we always let them know. We always let them know that they ignored us on their home run trot.
Beautiful park, by the way.
Yeah, it's so sick. It's awesome. There's
like, literally not a bad seat.
No, I mean even like
unless you're in the bullpen.
Nice to serve. Yeah, the bullpen. It's like a weird view. It's like because like sometimes it's like most teams will have it in the outfield, but even if like it's down the line, like ours is like usually like, all the way down, like near where the pole is, and ours is kind of like awkwardly like in the middle of the dugout, like where the dugout and the pole is, and so it's a good view, but it's a little different.
Another question for you. So we're getting ready to see that Chris Sale is going up to Portland, and there's good chance that he's going to go to Worcester and whatnot. You guys talking about that type of stuff?
No, not really. I mean, usually like guys we have like because they don't tell us that, and we don't know like what their schedules are. Just like usually like they'll show up and it's like, oh hey, how you doing? What's up?
What about when you get a new guy on the roster, though, like with, Brian Bello getting called up recently and Brandon Walter, and obviously Frank Herman and AJ Politi came up from AA. Is there, like, you guys, I assume, know each other from spring training beforehand, but is there, like, how do you guys welcome a new person onto the roster?
They beat the shit out of them.
So, well, in the bullpen, whenever we have our bullpen bag, and so whenever we get a new reliever in, they're in charge of the bullpen bag. And so to start the year, the newest guys in the newest, yeah, I'd say newest. I don't know about youngest, but I think probably youngest too. The two youngest newest guys, whatever you want to say, was me and Feltman. And so it was our job to be on the bullpen bag. And so we made a little competition with strikeouts per outing or something like that. And so whoever had the least, he would take the bag until he beat the other person. And so, but then Politi came and we got off the bag, and then Frank came, and so now he's on the bag. But so whenever another reliever comes up from AA, they're gonna get the bag.
So basically, Herman's just like every day he's just looking at the box scores, being like, "Come on, Jake Thompson, we gotta call you
but
up dude,
he's a wild card though because he's actually killing it. He was getting a lot of chirps about like being responsible to be on the bag, but he's doing a good job. He's starting to bring out some bottles of water in there. He's starting to bring out some snacks in there, and that hadn't been done before. So Frank, he's stepping up, and so whoever comes up, they got they got a lot to. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
A lot to live up to there. Yeah, he's raised the bar.
Yes,
he has raised the bar.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I couldn't think of it. Thank you.
It's just gonna be like, excuse me, but Frank always brought cheese
where's
doodles
the
and
water
Lay's for
bottle?
us. Where are our water bottles?
Where are the fruit snacks?
Your table talk pies.
Oh god, yeah. I don't think we'd be having any of those. We'd get in too much trouble. We'd probably eat too many of them.
How much do you guys watch the between the innings stuff? Because I was there for the Father's Day game, and I thought that was cool with Yulmar Sanchez's kid getting to do that. It was like a nice moment when like he got to give his dad a hug after he won it. But how much do you guys pay attention to that stuff?
Sometimes we do. Whenever Noah does something, which seems like it's like every day Noah does something different, we'll pay attention to that because he's always in the clubhouse and stuff too. And so like, if he would have missed that ball, we would have gotten all over him the next day in the clubhouse. But I mean, we don't really pay attention too much because between innings, like that's when if we got to go inside to get anything or get stretched or anything, that's when we'll do it. So like if we're gonna go inside at all during the game, it's usually between innings, and so we miss a lot of it.
Do you get to? Because my favorite thing, aside from it being a beautiful stadium, but the food at Polar Park is really good. Do you guys get to like pick stuff out from like the vendors there, or is it like something different if you're on the team?
No, not usually. But my wife always tells me that it's really good food there and stuff.
Does your family go to a lot of your games?
A decent amount, I think. I know when we went to Lehigh, my parents were able to drive up to that one because I think it was only like 4.5, 5 hours from where we live in Virginia. But my wife, she tries to get up here at least once a month, maybe sometimes twice a month, and so she's up here a good amount. My parents do come up a lot, and so I really don't go probably more than like 2 homestands at a time without someone being here, which is nice because I'm not really from the Northeast, and so just to have somebody up here supporting me, hanging out with me, just being able to kind of get away from baseball a little bit is always really good.
Did you growing up in Virginia? Which team did you root for?
The Braves.
Braves, and did you have a favorite player on their team?
Yeah, Chipper Jones. He was my guy.
And now, who's your favorite team?
Whoever my paychecks come from.
That is a fair answer.
I've heard really good things about like Chipper Jones, the person, as well as the player. Have you gotten to meet him at any point?
Shoot, I mean, I might have when I was a kid. I don't know. I think I might have like an autograph for him. So
that's a no because if you met Chipper, it's Chipper.
Yeah, I mean, I met like a lot of guys. Like I don't know. I don't remember. I met a lot of guys.
You don't remember you met Chipper Jones? Come on.
Hey man, he's a pro ball player.
We went to a lot of games though, and I was always like that annoying kid that just wanted like everybody to sign my baseball, and now like this. I didn't care what you were doing. The most important thing you have is like to sign my baseball right now. I was that little annoying little kid.
See, that's the reason why I want to bring my nephew to games because nobody signs adults, sign things for adults. So I'm like, hey, my nephew's not even a Red Sox fan. I want to bring him to a game and be like, hey, ask this guy for an autograph.
Well, if he does, tell him the biggest advice we can give him is to say please.
Oh, dude, my nephew didn't say please. I'd smack him upside the head.
I know. You'd be surprised. A lot of kids don't say please, but yeah. But it's like
sign my damn ball.
Exactly. But yeah, I grew up Braves fan. Because we had TBS. It was kind of the same thing with WGN with the Cubs, and they were always on. And it was before the Nationals got to DC. And so if the Nationals were there like before I was born, I probably would end up a Nationals fan because it's 2.5, 3 hours away instead of 7, 8 like the Braves are. But so it was all Braves, and then I got to go to like an opening day with the Braves. It was cool, and then when Chipper got his jersey retired, I got to go to that. So it was sick.
Yeah, no, that's really that's awesome. Were your parents were they athletes, or were you like the first athlete in the family, or?
I think my dad he was like an athlete in high school. I think he claims that he was. He might have photoshopped some yearbook pictures though.
Do you have any siblings? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No. Yeah, my dad. The one thing he has on me is that he played football and I didn't. But so I think what he was trying to do is he didn't want me to play football. He always said he didn't want me to get hurt, but I think he didn't want me to. I think he wanted one sport that he could say that he was better than me at. Because I always told him that I was definitely better at baseball. And we always argued about basketball. So I had to give him one, you know.
Did you play basketball also then?
Yes, I did.
Gotcha. Are you a Hawks fan? Or
who?
like what the Atlanta Hawks, or like who is your team for basketball?
Oddly enough, the Celtics. I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to the NBA. JJ Redick is from my hometown, so
cool.
I kind of just like followed him around half the teams in the league that he ended up playing for. But if I had to pick a team, that would be the Celtics. My dad was a huge Larry Bird fan. Bird, McHale, all those guys.
That's not a bad guy to follow.
Yeah, and so if I had to pick, it'd be the Celtics. But I don't really pay too much attention to the NBA, honestly.
Yeah, it sounds like your parents really follow your baseball career pretty closely. If they're updating the box scores for what I guess would now be the Complex League, I guess Rookie League back then. I mean, that's a labor of love right there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like you guys are pretty close in the bullpen, but somebody that I've been kind of interested in is the pitching coach there, Paul Abbott. I feel like he's done a really good job of making the most out of what a lot of pitchers have and being able to really make them effective. Like, I don't know if this is the case, but I mean, Ryan Brazier's looked real good lately, and I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but he got optioned down for a couple days, and he came back up looking like it's 2018. So, what's he like as a coach?
He's good. I mean, he's an old school guy. I like him though. I like him a lot as a coach because you kind of have like two kinds of coaches in sports. It's like on one hand you got the guy that tells you what you want to hear, and then you have the other one that tells you what you need to hear. And so it's like throwing bullpens. Like if something's not good enough, he's going to tell you what you need to do to get better. He's going to tell you that this doesn't play, or you need to do this, you need that. And he holds you accountable. As relievers, he wants us to stay sharp, and so he has to make sure that we're getting off the mound every so often, every couple of days. And so, if we don't do that, he's going to let us know that he knows that we hadn't been on the mound in a couple of days, and he's gonna make sure you get on there. But he's hard. He's a good coach, man. I like him a lot. He's helped me just being honest and just telling me what I need to hear. And so I think a lot of guys kind of share the same opinion about it.
Is there anything that he's told you that you could just off the top of your head that you are like, okay, yeah, that's really made me a better pitcher?
Not so much, just like certain things, but I mean, he tries to prepare you for the big leagues, like in terms of like if you're like going about your business like a certain way, or if you're handling your throwing program a certain way, or like your bullpens, and if it doesn't play, because he's been in the big leagues, what works, what doesn't, and so like something that you're doing isn't going to work and doesn't play in the big leagues, like he's going to let you know so that you can change it, because he's trying to coach us and get us better, but ultimately he's trying to just prepare us to be in the big leagues too. And so I think he does a really good job of that. And like I said, I mean, he has the experience. He knows what it's like. I mean, this is a couple of years, I guess more than a couple, but I mean, he played years ago, and the game's a little bit different now, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same game.
So speaking of like the game is different, a lot of people are all for let the kids play and whatnot. What are your opinions on bat flips and pitchers showing emotion after K-ing somebody?
I mean, guys are gonna do it. I mean, you can either
Does it piss you off when somebody
can,
does a bat flip on you after they hit a dinger?
I don't know. I mean, we don't want to talk. I don't like talking about giving up home runs, but no. I mean, there's certain times in the game where if it's like a big situation and I get a punch out to get out of the inning, I'm gonna get fired up, and so if I make a mistake and you get me, yeah, you can flip your bat. But if it takes you 25 seconds to get around the bases, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. But
that's an inside pitch.
But I mean, if you get it, you take a second, look at it, flip the bat, and then just put your head down and go. And then no harm, no foul there. But I think some guys like to take it a little too far sometimes.
My all-time favorite, and it's one of your teammates, Casas hit a bomb. He hit an absolute bomb, and he placed the bat down and then put his head down and ran.
Yeah, that 477-foot one. Oh
yeah.
my! I mean, you hit it that far.
That was tight.
He just literally, he's like, "Yep, that's gone." He places the bat down, doesn't drop it, and he's just like, "Home run shot."
Did you see Fitzy's the other day?
I did not see it. How far did that one go?
I don't know how far it went. I think it was this series though. Yeah, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. But he had struck out his first two plate appearances. And I think the second one was 2 outs, bases loaded. And I think he punched out on I think it was I think it might have been a 3-2 pitch that was a ball they swung at. And he was just not happy. And then the next at bat, yeah, it was this week. Next at bat, he hits a bomb, nose going, and he just sits there and watches it, and Gronk spikes the bat. It was so sick. Full on, just arm fully extended, Gronk spiked it. It was sick.
I gotta find this.
Yeah,
That's
you do.
amazing.
Yeah, I might be able to find it too.
Let me see if I can. Oh,
We hit a lot of. We hit a
hold
lot of
on,
homers
hold
this
on.
time. You got it.
I think I do, but they cut it right. That was an 8th
Right at the
inning
best
home
part.
run, right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, they cut it right before he was getting ready to spike it. It was to deep right field, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Fitzy knocks when he I think I read in an interview that he was just yeah, no, I like to see how far I can hit the ball every time I'm up. Just wants to see how far I can hit it. He hits some bombs.
The Woo Sox Twitter account said that ball had a family.
Yeah. You might be able to find it on Instagram because I don't know if on the live feed if it cut there, but I know it's definitely on their Instagram now.
I saw on TikTok about that Castellanos hit, the home
I know
run.
what you're talking about.
Did you see what they posted?
I saw what they tweeted out, and I
No, they didn't tweet this. I was like, why didn't you tweet this? This is pure gold. So they put the announcer from the Reds. They put his "I find myself to be a religious man," and there's a deep fly ball. It's left center field by Castellanos. It was literally the funniest thing I've ever seen on TikTok. And I'm like, you guys just won TikTok. You would have won the internet if you put this on Twitter.
So yeah, and they posted something similar then on Twitter because it was the video of it, and it was all caps. There's a deep drive. Yeah. There's a drive to deep left by Castellanos.
They had been posting it before it though. I remember the sheet that they have with the lineups because it was Castellanos' first game up there, and it was let's hope he hits a deep drive to left. So that they've just been planning this. Okay, if he hits a home run, this is what we're gonna do.
They were excited about it too.
That was in their
when they knew at some point he was going to be here. Yeah, that's so funny.
That was in their notepad. They were just all right, this is what we're gonna do. If I'm not here for the game and he hits a home run, all you're gonna do is copy and paste and just post the video.
Yeah.
So I've got a question from you from one of our listeners. This is from Gavin Blackburn at Gav Blackburn. And he says, how much of a difference is the opposition at each? How much does that does the difference in the opposition at each level in the minors make? The skill level is much more variable. So if you were shoving in single A and you take that into account, and it just the expectations, basically how has
What's
the
the
competition
difference?
gotten tougher as you've gone up in the minors?
Yeah, I mean, I think like obviously the higher up you go, the tougher it gets. But I think the hardest jump, like for me, I think a lot of I think it's kind of like regarded throughout like the minor leagues as the toughest jump is from high A to double A and not double A to triple A, because I feel like in A ball it's like you have like a mix of older guys and like a mix of prospects, and with like your younger prospects, whether it be like mostly like your high school guys and probably maybe their first or second full year, it's like, okay, are they developed or are they not? And so if they are, they're going to go to double A. And so I think double A is like the first time, because there's some there's some guys that get to high A and it takes them a little longer to develop than others. And so once you get to double A, it's like the first time that really 1 through 9 you feel like everybody is like fully developed. Like in 2019, we were talking about this the other day just with playing Charlotte this week. It's like in double A in 2019 with Birmingham, like the top 5 guys were it's like Nick Madrigal, Luis Robert, Andrew Vaughn, Gavin Sheets. They had another thumper up in there somewhere. But
I remember
so
seeing
it's like,
Daniel Palka on that team. He had hit 27 home runs the year before and then got brought back
yeah,
down.
it's just like it's pretty much like I guess they traded Madrigal, but it's pretty much a big league team now. I mean, but then from double A to triple A, all I think the biggest thing I think is just you have more experienced hitters and you got some bigger names, I guess. But I still think like the hardest league to pitch in is rookie ball, because you got like it's like such like a disparity between age levels, and it's like this like leading off is a guy who's 17 years old and like sometimes doesn't really fully have an approach, and so it's like I don't know if I need to go at this guy or if I can just throw 3 changeups in the dirt and get a strikeout. Like I don't know what I can do. And then you got the next guy, like a 24-year-old college guy who has seen SEC pitching for 4 years and kind of has like a feel for his approach and what he's trying to do. And so it's like almost like batter to batter. You got to kind of figure out like change and figure out how you're gonna go about it. But yeah, I still think high to double A is the hardest transition, and the higher up you go, just you got to realize you just got to be more fine with everything.
Knowing that I know you never stop learning, but where do you think you've learned the most?
Probably double A. I mean, I think not just because I spent the most time there, but double A was like the first time I really transitioned into like a full-time starter. Because I had been like a piggyback starter before, and so it's like I'm coming in for 3 or 4 innings, but I'm not coming into like the 4th or 5th. And so, it's almost like just pretty much being like a long reliever. You might flip the lineup over. You're definitely going to flip the lineup over once, but like more times than not, you're not going to have to flip it over twice. But then once I was able to get my own start day, I was turning it over twice every time, and then sometimes 3 times. And so you can't beat the same guy very often on the same thing 3 times in a row. And so you kind of got to figure out, if do I want to throw in my best sequence in the first, or do I want to just try to sneak through this at bat, get him out, and then when his next time up, then do I want to try to go to it? And so I think just learning that transition, and then obviously last year was where I learned how to be a bullpen guy. And so I guess like the majority of my changes in my career have been in Double-A.
Do you guys pay a lot of attention to like just like Baseball America, that kind of thing with rankings? Like, do you follow like yourself on that, or is it sort of just like background noise?
No, not really. I mean, I don't really have too much of I don't have much to pay attention to if I did, but no, not really. Because I mean, it's a lot of that stuff is just like guys who that scout certain games, and it's like, well, this guy might have somebody at number 10 because the one game he saw was the worst game of the season, but then the next week somebody else saw him, put him at number 5 because he went 7 shutty and punched out 10. Like, so I understand why there are rankings and why there are prospects and stuff, but like I don't really pay too much attention to it just because it's, like you said, it's kind of like outside noise.
Yeah, no, that seems like a good part of having like a short memory with everything, just being able to fade that out.
But I will say, if I like Sox prospects and stuff like that, it's like a lot of like fan accounts on Twitter, and it's just cool to see like a fan base like actually care about minor league guys, because I've been in with like I said, with Oakland and Anaheim. It's, I mean, not like Oakland and Anaheim are top of the line sports cities really, but there wasn't much coverage. There wasn't much coverage in general, but especially in the minor leagues, But being here, like it's awesome, and because it's really like that's good for the players too, just because we have friends that in this organization, but they're not, obviously, like some of them aren't here, and so being able to see tweets and videos of guys that are at different levels on a nightly basis, it's cool. It's a good way to keep up with guys.
And now that they actually have games streaming on MILB TV, you get to see some of these people on a more frequent basis.
Yeah, I got a couple. I have a couple friends in some different organizations too, and some friends. Obviously, I have friends here, but I'll go check. I probably got like a checklist of like 6 or 7 teams that I go through like every night, just to see if my buddies pitched or not. So if they did, I'll go watch it. I'll go watch some of their innings, unless they're starters. I'm not gonna go watch 5 innings, sorry. But if they're relievers, I'll go watch one.
So, what's your put away pitch?
My changeup.
And was that something that you developed when you were in like high school, or?
Yeah. It's been my pitch for pretty much forever. I mean, I never really had like a consistent breaking ball, like a slider or anything. I could never throw a curveball. It didn't really work with my arm action. Whenever I did try, it was just way too slow and just not very good. But my slider, it's always just been something that I find a grip and I find a feel for it, and then it just fades away after a couple months. And so I've never really had like, I guess, consistency with it. But right now, like for this year so far, like, it feels good. I'm able to repeat that a lot more than I ever have really. I feel a lot more comfortable with it, but yeah, changeup's definitely my go-to pitch, and then we get a lot of swings and misses on it.
Have you had someone try to teach you another pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I've had people try to teach me a curveball, and it just
no.
I try to. I do. Yeah, I mean, I try to tell them like, hey, like, you're not the first person that's tried this.
Hey man, have you ever tried throwing a curveball? No, don't even.
Yeah, I'm like I know like one time I had to try it out for like 2 weeks, and then I threw in the bullpen. He's like, like He's like, this sucks. I'm like, I try to tell you, like, doesn't matter what. Like, I can take any grip you want. It's just not going to work. Yeah. So we kind of banged that one. That one's just never gonna happen.
I mean,
So-
I've gotten to see you pitch a couple of times in Worcester, and it looked like you were really pulling back and hitting 97, 98 on some of those fastballs. Is that a new development for you? Or have you always had that kind of velocity?
No, not really. I mean, I think like in 2017 when I got drafted. I mean, I was a little gassed when I got out there, being 105 innings in by the time I got there. But I mean, I was like 90, 91 maybe. That popped in like some 89s in there too, and then I don't know if it's surgery or actually having a healthy arm for once, or just the flip side of that, being able to have a full year almost of just training and working out. But I was like 92, 94 in 2019, and then like my first live of camp in 2021, I was 94, 96. Kind of hung out there the whole year. Kind of hanging out there now too. But yeah, there's definitely some days where I feel better than others, and I can reach back. Maybe hit a 7, maybe hit an 8, but not too often. Maybe if the adrenaline's there,
Yeah, let's dig back up. It's who was that? Eloy Jimenez.
Yeah,
Dig
well,
it back for the major leaguer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe problem is, but sometimes if I try to reach back too far, I had no idea where it goes. So I don't want to like be that guy like 0-2 and try to rip a fastball and it's like throw it straight to the backstop. It'd be kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, definitely can understand that.
Yeah, I couldn't be able to come up with an excuse for that one.
Do you just like watching the other guys pitch in the pen? Who do you think has like the nastiest stuff? Yourself excluded from it.
I don't know. I mean, different guys have like different stuff. Like, I mean, or like fastball. Like, I mean, he's sitting there pumping 6 to 8 consistently, and it's just like he's so big. It's like, like, here you go, hit it. Like, then Hartley has a sinker at like 96. That's just doing like, it's just moving like a ball. Like, you don't think the ball should be able to move going that fast. And it's just like, you know what, like same thing with Bayo's sinker. Like, you go watch the video of it and it looks like a changeup, but it's 97, and it just kind of just pisses you off how good it is. Like, I don't know though. Like, cause like different, like each guy has. I feel like each guy in our bullpen has like their one thing that like they do really well. It's like unique to them. Like mine's like my changeup, like a couple guys I mentioned, and then like Politi, his slider, like Cole, his changeup. Like I feel like every guy just kind of has like their one thing,
That's cool though that you've like been able to identify that. Do they know that that's their one thing, or is it kind of like you're seeing it as an observer and like one guy might think that his fastball's his best pitch, but it's actually his curveball?
I don't know. I mean, I guess like an observatory, but it's like personally though, it's like I know like it's my changeup, and I know like if whenever I come in, I know the other team like goes look for the little scout report or whatever, and my changeup's going to show up on there. Like I know that for a fact. And so I don't know if like other guys think that way, or maybe it's just me. I don't know.
All right, I got a question. I got a couple questions for you.
Fire away.
Non-baseball. All right.
Okay.
Who's the party guy on the team?
Party guy? I don't know. A lot of guys are married. We're old.
Oh, this sounds very disappointing.
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, like one, we got like a lot of married guys, a couple guys with kids, and then even if we weren't, like, we wouldn't have to really have time to do anything. Playing 6 days a week, it's like the only off day we have is a Monday, and so we're not going to be able to do anything like we wouldn't be able to do anything like a Sunday night either.
Oh, so that's why you're here. You had nothing to do. Thanks. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
No, we're all old and boring up here, you know.
Oh, come on, Jeter Downs. He's not old.
How old is he? Like 23, 24?
Casas isn't old. I mean, he's an old soul. I mean, the guy's literally in the batting cage like 24 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
8 days a week.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So nobody's
he,
like, hey guys,
sleeps and
let's go out for drinks.
Yeah.
So we were talking about him a little bit earlier, but Yolmer Sanchez, what's it like having an MLB Gold Glove winner behind you when you're pitching?
It's great. I mean, I like it. I like when they hit ground balls to him. Yeah, it's cool. But like, you know, like I mean, he's an even cooler guy in the clubhouse. Like he's just so cool and just kind of just chills. And you know, he's always you know talking shit to guys, which is really funny. And he's probably he's the last guy we have. And yeah, I mean, he's been there a while, and obviously you say he's won a Gold Glove, and like not many guys can say that they play with a Gold Glover at this point in the minor leagues. But yeah, I'm glad he's getting a chance to go up to Toronto.
Who's the quietest?
Quietest. Definitely not Taylor Cole. Yeah. We call him the mayor of Worcester. He just talks to everybody. It's hilarious.
That's weird.
I don't know. I mean, Stu's pretty quiet.
Okay.
I don't know how he is around like position players, but like his locker is like right next, like me and Or. We don't hear him talk very much, and if we do, it's like we talk to him first, you know. So he's pretty quiet.
And does Walters actually look like he's a serial killer?
I don't think he looks like a serial killer, but like
I swear, the first time I ever saw a picture of him, I was like, "Yeah, that guy definitely has vibes."
But it's like he's one of those guys though. It's like he's like that. He always has like almost has like one look on his face like at all times. Like he walks in, you're like you don't know, like you say hey, like, you don't know what kind of reaction you're getting. Like you don't know if he's having a good day, you don't know if he's having a bad day, and
vibes.
It's like
I'm right.
It's like, sup, Walt? How you doing, dude?
See, I got to see his. I went and saw his debut in Worcester. It wasn't fantastic or anything, but I knew it was just his adrenaline was pumping and whatnot. But when I saw him in Portland, I used to sit behind home plate in Hartford because that's where I'm from, and
it's a sick park.
It really is. I hate the team, but it's a nice park. The only time I go there is when Portland visits.
Mm-hmm.
There
you go.
I don't understand why they have a Rockies affiliate up in New England. That just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's random. I don't know.
But yeah, he just has that this guy definitely has that killer mentality. And I'm not talking about baseball.
He's nasty. Because I saw what he did last year. I didn't really know. I didn't really know a lot of people after spring training last year. So I was so new and it was such a quick camp and guys like that I was going to Portland with. We were kind of pretty much all in the group. So from high down, I really didn't know anybody. Because I got to meet him a couple weeks before camp with our winter warm up, and he was a good dude. I still didn't see him pitch until probably the second to last week of spring training. I was like, oh god, it just looks like an uncomfortable at bat. Because I feel like he steps directly towards first base when he pitches. And I don't know how he throws as many strikes as he does doing that, but I mean he does.
Caught him. And so when we had caught him on, he told us that he had the nastiest slider he's ever caught, and he caught Eovaldi.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of like Sale-esque. I mean, Sale's slider is one of a kind, but I feel like, I'm sure Walter gets that comparison all the time just because
he's a lefty.
Lefty steps across his body, throws it. Yeah,
there's a lot of strikes.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, like the action on it, it takes off on you.
You were Red Sox spring training this year. You were with the big league club for a good amount. Was that
Yeah.
was that your first big league spring training?
Yes, it was.
What how did it compare to your expectations of it?
It was cool. It was weird though because with the lockout and everything, and so I don't know. I don't even know what day like that all that stuff ended, but I was down in Fort Myers like 15th or 16th of February, and so by the time like the lockout came around and ended and camp actually started, I was probably down there for like a month. So it almost felt like I went through 2 spring trainings, and so. But by the time everything got going, it's like we were already built up, ready to go, and like they had to come in and be behind the 8 ball a little bit and try to build up. But I mean, it was cool. Like obviously, having like the guys that you knew that were here last year, like just watching them and seeing them how they go about their business, and then some of the new guys. I mean, Waka, Rich Hill. Obviously Rich Hill's been around forever, and so just really watching kind of like
I'm sorry, I have to stop you there. I don't know this Rich Hill guy. We refer to this person with his nickname.
His Players Weekend one?
No. It's just his nick. It's no longer his nickname. It's actually his real name. I'm sorry, but we refer to this person as Dick Mountain. Yes.
Yeah. That's his name.
Best nickname ever.
It's hilarious. And it's like so funny. Like the funny part about it is like guys will bring in their kids and stuff, and someone will they'll be like newborns or like toddlers, like with this car seat, and like his kid just like walks in and he's like 9-10 years old, like stop. It's just so funny. But no, it's cool because we had camp and it's like Bayo's in camp, and then Rich Hill's in camp, and like Hill's probably in the majors before Bayo was even born. Like
Bayo could literally be his kid.
Yeah, like Cassis is like 21, 22, and Hill is however old he is.
42, 42.3 years old.
Yeah, and that's like when did he debut?
I want to say it was 2005.
Yeah, I was still in high school. I remember him and Mark Pryor were the big guy. They were going to be the Cubs of the future.
Yep, he made his debut. He was 25 years old. He debuted in 2005.
Yeah, it's like, so think about that. We got Rich Hill here, and then guys that we have in AAA were 5 and 6 years old. Like when he was in the big leagues, it's just it was cool. A lot of parity in this group.
Should grab some info from Dick Mountain before he ends up retiring.
He's never gonna retire.
No, he's gonna be 52 years old, throwing 45-mile-per-hour curveballs.
Oh, he's earning himself another contract for this year. He's throwing the ball well. I'm so happy you said that, because as a podcast that actually covers the Red Sox and whatnot, we're huge fans of Dick Mountain, and I do not take any slander. Anybody who talks shit about Rich Hill, I do not take slander for Dick Mountain. And everybody's like, get him off my team. I'm tired. I'm like, what are you expecting from a 42-year-old who's a number 5 starter who's throwing 67-mile-per-hour curveballs? Yeah.
He's good.
He makes it work, though. And I mean, hey, he hit 91 today. He hit 91 on a fastball.
I actually made a post about that.
He did.
I was like, Hill hitting 91 is like Pavetta hitting 100.
Crazy.
It's so fun. I like seeing Dick Mountain go 6 innings. 6 innings of Dick? Yes. Sign me up.
Oh,
That's
man.
funny.
So, you got any more questions, Brad?
I'm all set. It was an absolute blast having you on, Zach. Just before we end up ending the episode, can you stick around after? For a few?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. This was a good episode. A lot, like some good questions. Make some shooting the shit. It's always a good time.
So
Yeah.
Ed is our big prospect guy. He pays attention more so to the minor leagues and whatnot, and he's the one who's actually been filling us in with like a lot of information, getting us more interested in the minor league system. So
Yeah.
it's been an absolute pleasure having him, being able to reach out to some of the players, having you guys come on, getting to know you and whatnot. So very, very much appreciated having you come on.
Yeah, really, absolute thrill getting to talk to you. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good time. It was like you said earlier with Cottom and Ryan and Sogi. I'm sure they did good, so I had to bring my A game.
All right.
Certainly.
So until next time, we'll see you later.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Pesky Report. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name. And